The girl flinches slightly at your voice, her shoulders dropping from their defensive hunch. She looks you over, her gaze lingering on the intricate gold embroidery of your robes before meeting your eyes. There is a weariness in her expression that looks far too heavy for someone her age.
Oh, war zone. Yeah, that's one way to put it. You must be the transfer student everyone's been whispering about. I'm Anne Takamaki.
I'm Wyndra. And people are already whispering? I haven't even stepped through the door yet.
Rumors spread like wildfire here, especially when you don't fit the mold. Just be careful who you talk to. This place has a way of making you feel like you're under a microscope.
The sound of a heavy engine idling draws both of your attention. A sleek, black luxury car pulls up to the curb beside the gate. The windows are tinted, but the atmosphere around Anne shifts instantly from weary to terrified. The rear window rolls down, revealing a man with a square jaw and a predatory, self-assured grin.
Good morning, Takamaki-san. Punctual as always. And who is this? I don't recognize the vibrant wardrobe.
Kamoshida's eyes rake over you with a dismissive coldness that contradicts his wide, fake smile. Anne has gone completely stiff beside you, her hands clenched into fists at her sides. The man radiates a sense of distorted authority that feels exactly like the castle Morgana described. You stand your ground, meeting the man's gaze without blinking. The weight of the gold necklaces against your chest feels like a reminder of your own identity in the face of his oppressive presence. Anne's breath hitches beside you, her eyes darting between you and the man in the car, as if she's waiting for an explosion.
I'm the new transfer. And you are?
The man's smile doesn't falter, but his eyes narrow, a flash of irritation flickering behind his practiced mask of athletic charisma. He leans his elbow on the car door, looming over you even from a seated position.
The new transfer, huh? So you're the one Sakura-san is saddled with.
I'm Suguru Kamoshida, the physical education teacher and head of the volleyball team here.
I expect my students to show a bit more respect for the dress code, though I suppose exceptions are made for special cases.
He turns his attention back to Anne, his gaze lingering in a way that makes your skin crawl.
Don't be late for class, Takamaki-san. We have a lot to go over for the upcoming tournament.
He rolls up the window, the black glass sealing him away as the car pulls into the school grounds. Anne lets out a breath she seems to have been holding for a lifetime, her shoulders slumping.
You shouldn't have spoken to him like that. Kamoshida, he owns this school. Everyone from the principal down does whatever he says because of his Olympic past. If you're on his radar now, your life here is going to be a nightmare.
As she speaks, your phone vibrates violently in your pocket. You pull it out to see the red eye icon pulsing rhythmically, the name, Suguru Kamoshida, glowing with a sickly light. Anne looks at the building with a mixture of dread and resignation. The vibrant energy you brought to the gate has been dampened by the shadow Kamoshida cast. You can feel the eyes of other students on you, their whispers growing louder now that you've had a run-in with the king of Shujin. The phone in your pocket feels like a branding iron against your thigh. You pull it out, shielding the screen from the passing students, but the crimson glow is unmistakable. The red eye icon isn't just pulsing anymore. It's dilated, staring directly at the retreating tail lights of Kamoshida's car.
That app is reacting to him. I need to find out why the navigator called him a castle.
Anne blinks, her brow furrowing in confusion as she looks at your phone, then back up at your face. She doesn't seem to see the red light, only your intense expression.
Ab? Navigator? Wyndra, what are you talking about? And did you say castle?
She looks back at the school building, a standard gray concrete structure, and shudders.
I mean, he acts like he owns the place. He treats the gym like his personal court, and the students like, well, like his subjects. But it's just a school. A miserable, suffocating school.
As she speaks, the air around the school gates begins to shimmer, like heat rising from asphalt. The distorted ringing returns to your ears, sharper than before. You look through the screen of your phone, and for a split second, the school's facade ripples. The concrete walls bleed into jagged stone battlements, and the school crest transforms into a vulgar, golden emblem of a crown. A familiar weight settles on top of a nearby brick pillar. Morgana sits there, his blue eyes fixed on the school.
It's because his cognition has completely overwritten reality here. To him, these students aren't people, they're pawns in his kingdom.
If you want to see the truth, you just have to step inside.
Zan looks at the empty pillar, then at you, clearly unable to see or hear the cat. The bell for first period rings, a harsh metallic sound that cuts through the tension. The navigator's eye is wide now, the word begin flashing over the map of the school. You keep your voice low, your eyes darting between the invisible cat on the pillar and the trembling woman beside you. The weight of your own past, the injustice that brought you to Tokyo, burns in your chest, finding a target in the man who just drove past.
Morgana, if we go in there, can we actually change what he's doing to these students?
That's the idea. If we find the treasure at the heart of this palace and steal it, his distorted desires will vanish. He'll have a change of heart and confess his crimes to the real world. But it's not a walk in the park. It's dangerous.
Anne looks at you with growing concern, her hand reaching out to touch your arm.
Wyndra, you're talking to thin air, and you're making me really nervous. We should just go to class before Kamoshida finds another reason to pick on us.
You ignore the warning bell and press the begin button on the metaverse navigator. The world doesn't just shimmer, it fractures. The morning sun turns a bruised purple, and the sounds of the city are replaced by the heavy, rhythmic clanking of chains. The iron gates of the school have transformed into a massive portcullis. Anne gasps, stumbling back as her school uniform flickers.
What happened to the school? Why are we in a dungeon?
Welcome to the metaverse. Keep your guard up, Wyndra. The shadows here won't be as polite as the coach.
Heavy footsteps echo from the stone corridor ahead. Two tall figures in suits of armor, their faces replaced by glowing red eyes, march toward you with halberds drawn. They don't look like teachers. They look like executioners. The armored sentries stomp forward, their metal greaves clashing against the stone floor with the weight of a death sentence. The air here is thick with the copper tang of blood and the suffocating scent of old iron. Anne is frozen, her breath coming in shallow, terrified hitches as the glowing red eyes of the shadows fixate on her.
This can't be real. Wyndra, those things, they're going to kill us.
Not if we aren't here when they arrive. Come on.
You grab Anne's hand. Her palm is ice-cold and trembling, and pull her toward a darkened alcove hidden behind a massive, pulsating vein climbing the wall. You spot a heavy wooden door tucked beneath a stone archway, partially obscured by a tattered tapestry depicting Kamishita in a golden crown.
Good eyes! Through there, before they spot you!
You shoulder the door open, just as the guards reach your previous position. The room beyond is a cramped storage chamber filled with wine barrels that smell faintly of rot. You pull Anne inside and lean your weight against the door, heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird. Outside, the rhythmic clank of armor passes by, the shadows continuing their patrol. Anne sinks to the floor, her platinum pigtails disheveled, her eyes wide with shock as she stares at her own hands.
What is this place? Everything feels wrong, like a nightmare that won't end.
It's his heart, Takamaki. You're standing inside Kamoshida's distorted reality. To him, this school is a castle where he can do whatever he wants to his slaves.
Anne looks up at you, her gaze searching yours for some semblance of sanity. The exotic patterns of your robes glow faintly in the dim light of the cellar, making you look like the only solid thing in this shifting world of horrors. She reaches out, tentatively brushing the fabric of your sleeve. The cellar is damp and reeks of stale fermentation, but as you reach down and take Anne's hand, the cold stone walls seem to recede. You give her fingers a firm, reassuring squeeze, feeling the frantic pulse in her wrist begin to steady against your palm.
I won't let anything happen to you. I promise. We're going to find a way out of this, and we're going to do it together.
Anne looks up at you, her blue eyes shimmering with unshed tears. The terror is still there, but beneath it, a spark of something else flickers, a desperate hope she hasn't felt in a long time. She doesn't pull her hand away. Instead, she grips yours back, her knuckles turning white.
I believe you. I don't know why, but I do. Nobody has ever stood up for me like that before, especially not against him.
As touching as this is, we're still in the middle of a literal dungeon. If we stay here, we're sitting ducks. We need to move higher up. The heart of a palace is usually at the highest point, in this case, probably the central tower.
The sound of a heavy latch clicking echoes from the other side of the cellar door. Someone is trying to enter. You pull Anne to her feet, your eyes darting around the room until you spot a small ventilation grate near the ceiling, just large enough for an adult to crawl through. The wooden door groans as something heavy thuds against it from the outside. A muffled, distorted voice, vaguely resembling a teacher's but twisted with malice, demands entry to check the inventory. You look at the grate, then back at Anne, who is bracing herself for the door to burst open. The heavy thudding against the door grows more violent, the wood splintering as the latch begins to give way. You release Anne's hand and gesture urgently toward the large, dust-covered wine tuns in the corner.
If they come through that door, I'll surprise them and hide behind those barrels.
Anne nods frantically, her platinum pigtails whipping as she ducks behind the rotting wood. She curls into a small ball, disappearing into the deep shadows of the cellar.
That's the spirit. I'll distract them from the rafters. Use the momentum when they overextend.
You press your back against the cold stone wall beside the door, your breath held tight. The door bursts inward with a final, echoing crash. The guard lumbers into the room, the red glow of its visor scanning the darkness. As it passes your position, you lunge forward. You use your weight to shove the heavy door back against the guard's trailing leg, tripping the massive suit of armor.
Intruder, unauthorized presence in the king's cellar.
The guard flails, its halberd clattering against the stone. You don't give it a chance to recover, driving your shoulder into its side to keep it pinned against the wine racks. The guard is off balance, but its metallic strength is immense. It begins to push back, the red light in its visor pulsing with murderous intent. Anne watches from behind the barrels, her eyes wide with a mix of terror and awe as she sees you fighting back against the nightmare. The guard's metallic weight is immense, a cold pressure that threatens to crush you against the stone wall. As it struggles to right itself, your eyes lock onto the long-handled halberd that slid across the floor. You dive, your fingers closing around the cold, iron-bound wood of the haft just as the shadow surges upward. With a grunt of exertion, you wedge the thick pole across the guard's chest, pinning its armored forearms against its own torso. You use the wall as a fulcrum, leaning your entire body weight into the lever. The metal screeches, a sound like a dying engine, as the guard's red visor flares with frantic light.
Impertinent vermin! You dare defy the king's law?
I'm tired of people like you telling me what the law is. Keep him pinned. He can't reach his sidearm if you keep the pressure on his joints.
Anne watches from the shadows of the wine barrels, her breath hitching. Seeing you struggle, seeing the physical reality of your rebellion, something shifts in her gaze. The paralyzing terror is being replaced by a sharp, jagged edge of indignation.
You're actually holding it back. You're really fighting it.
The guard let out a burst of static-filled rage, its boots scraping the floor as it tries to find purchase. The halberd groans under the tension. You can feel the vibration of the shadow's malice, traveling through the wood and into your bones. The guard is trapped for now, but your muscles are burning with the effort of holding the lever. Behind the guard, the heavy cellar door is still slightly ajar, and the sounds of more clanking armor echo from the corridor. You need to finish this, or find a way to secure the room before reinforcements arrive.